Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hello, who's going to join us? I know it's morning and you're still probably, no one is sleeping at this time unless you worked overnight. So where are you? Hello, who's there? I know someone is there already because I can see. We're starting early today. Hello, Justin. Hello, how are you? We're starting early today. Well, not the earliest we've ever started. So you'll be familiar with the very early time that DSA usually starts when he used to do the broadcast, but it's not that early. Hello, Deborah Cole. Hello, Gregory. Hello, Favor. Chidi, good afternoon, good morning, good day, good evening. So, but it's morning here in Ukraine, in Kyiv. Good morning, Rochelle. Rochelle is probably afternoon for you. Pastor Nikki, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Guess who we've got? I know you've seen it from the title already, so that's why you're all coming in. Hola, good morning. Good morning, Stella. Guys, good morning. I'm really excited this morning. We have our DSA queen. You know the title already. You've seen the title. I can see the barcodes already writing the names. Okay, there is no surprise now. Next time, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to say interview with, so that you guys don't know, because you already know who it is. Or who they are. Know who it is, because we all know our queen. And also, we need to get to know the king behind the queen. So, let me turn my camera so that you can see for yourself and say hello. Yay!
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, this is so guys, today or this morning, our first interview is with Queen Anastasia Macdonald and the King, Evan Macdonald. So, guys, how are you?
We're good.
Okay. So I will start. I'm not going to choose who's going to. I haven't had an interview with two people. So you're my first. So I'm going to start by just asking you to tell us about yourselves. Whoever wants to start first, please feel free. Tell us about yourself.
Ladies first.
Well, the people know a lot about me.
Well, not everyone.
Okay. All right. Okay. My name is Anastasia Macdonald. I just turned 54 last week. Hooray! I'm married, obviously, and here sitting next to me is my husband, Evans Macdonald. Together we have 2 adult children, both boys, men now. First one is going to be 25, and next month the younger one will be 23. So we are now free of, doing the baby and the mothering, and we are so excited to do what God is calling us to do.
I'm Evans Macdonald, as previously mentioned. Many years old. I know I'm older than her though. And this is my first time in Ukraine. I guess most of you must have guessed. But then I've had such a lovely time, and looking forward to actually meeting the hundreds and thousands who watch on Facebook. I know there'll be a day we'll all be gathered to rejoice with one another and get to know one another. As previously mentioned, we have 2 boys. One is already left home, so we're just waiting for the other one to leave home also. So it's the time of our life for nothing but ministry.
Yeah. That is brave and beautiful. Brave and beautiful. Thank you, guys. I'm intrigued because you said that to do what God has called you to do. That's what Queen Anastasia said. And then King said that your life now is for ministry. So I'm just interested, before we go on the interview, I'm just interested to, what is that?
I think for me, I've always known I've been called into the teaching ministry. But then, we live in an era where we have various, doctrines flying around, okay? And various people have various doctrines they hold on to. But then, deep within me, I've always sort of known what I think ministry should be all about, So meeting DSA on the YouTube for the first time, listening to his messages, I could identify with what he was preaching, what he was saying, and I decided to follow him. That for once, I've come across someone who holds the views about how ministry should be done or how ministry should be conducted, as I have always believed in, all based on the Word of God. So it was really exciting to know that there was someone out there who actually viewed ministry and did ministry as I always believed ministry should be about.
Wow. Okay, Queen A.
Okay, so for those of you who follow me on Facebook and for those who are going to be new viewers, I'm all about Daddy, and Daddy God. I strongly believe that God, or I call him my daddy, has called me to help people develop a personal, warm, friendly, creative relationship with God. And I believe that I'm put here to show what it is to be a child of God. And so when you see me doing my child thing, it is just a reflection of how Daddy God wants us to relate with him. So on Facebook, I have, for example, a page called My Daddy God for Real. I have Awakening Hours by Anastasia. I have the new one, which is Stately and Flourishing, the 50-plus woman. That is also to help the older, the mature generation also develop a close relationship with God, and not realize that nothing is too late for them, and to discover their purpose and to discover their vava boom. That's how I called it.
Guys, I think this is going to be a very, very interesting interview. So it's already starting to warm up that way. Right, so King Evans is, wants to teach and will understand the teaching. So where God is calling them at this age now, where they have no children, or to nurture or to nurse, maybe still nurturing, because your children are always your children apparently, but to nurse is, for King Evan, is to have, to teach. And he understood that through the teaching of Dr. Sunday now, that this is how teaching would be, because he knew from the inside already, but he wasn't seeing that. Am I correct? And he's now seeing it, and he knows, is convinced that, okay, now I can see somebody else doing it, then this is where my path will follow now. And for our queen, what she is saying, well, I know you heard, I'm just used to summarizing. What she's saying is all about Daddy God. You know her already. She's all about relationship with Daddy God. And that's what she wants to focus on. And she's got a series already on Daddy God. And she's got another series coming up now that she mentioned the title. And she's also got a life history. I will urge you guys to check her out. She's on Facebook and she's also on YouTube. So her series on life story, Mind Transforming. You need to watch them, okay? I watched a couple and it's just changed everything for me. So please go ahead and watch her on live stories. Anastasia Macdonald, she's on Facebook and she's also on YouTube, okay? So I want to ask about your trip here. First thing though, before I ask that, I want to know how you encounter and when you encounter DSA. So can we share that, please?
Okay, so for myself, I encountered DSA last year, August. It was at the time when I had my contract, the job I was doing had come to an end, and I was like kind of a little bit, I won't say depressed, but I was just, because now my children are in university. I was looking, what am I going to do next? I'm thinking about the meaning of life, purpose, etc., etc. And so I was in that reflective mode. Anyway, I'm the kind of person that I love research, I love personal development and growth, I love empowering people. So I was on Facebook and doing my research, and I happened to stumble on a message titled, "Joblessness is a Blessing." And I thought, who has the audacity to say that joblessness is a blessing when society or the world is purporting or suggesting or shouting all the time that you must have a 9-to-5 job, you must, So I thought, okay, let me listen to this message. And when I did, I was just blown away by what I heard. And from that time onwards, I was hooked. I could not get enough of DSA. So from that day onwards, I listened to that broadcast, tuned into the evening one, and, as they say, the rest is history.
I think for me, as she said, she's the researcher, and she's always known I've been more attracted to the teaching ministry. So first, she discovered another great teacher of the word, So we followed him for a while, and I may still follow him. Then one day, I think I was in the office when she came around, and she said, "Oh, she's discovered this pastor. Listen to him. He's a great teacher. I think you'd like him. Check him out." So I said, "Okay, I'll do." So I think I can't remember the first message I actually listened to, but the second one I remember was quite a short message. I think it was about a 15-minute message where he preached on Jeremiah 49, and then those songs in Israel, But then that message never left me. I had to listen to it over, and even when I'm not listening to it, I could hear the message ringing in my ears, And after that, I just sort of followed his messages and his live broadcasts.
Uh-huh. So Queen Anastasia is from August 2016, I believe, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And the topic was on joblessness is a blessing. This is on YouTube, guys. If you want to listen to that, you can go on YouTube, which is Sunday Adelaja Official. That message actually, I remember that message very well. And that message actually helped me to let go of, my job being like the best thing ever, or being the most important thing about me. So you gain something from it. I gain, even though it's the same message, but almost different. So from different angles. So that's interesting. And you followed from August consistently.
Yeah.
What Queen Anastasia didn't tell us is that she didn't just follow, she's just an active member of DSA family, because she also set up a page on DSA because she takes, I'll let you tell, I'll let the Queen Anastasia tell you the story. And for the king, oh my God, he said, right, he listened to one message, a short message, following Queen's advice or information or update that I found this preacher or this pastor on Facebook, and he hit to that and listened to one message about sons. Are there no sons in Israel? I can't even recall that message, but the title alone is giving me the urge to go and listen to it. A 15-minute or so message that prompted you to stay, and it still resonates now. I think I'm going to watch that video. I'm going to check it out one way or the other soon, today. So, Queen Anastasia, I really do want you to tell us a little bit more, because there's more to just you encountering, and, just tell us a little bit more before we move on.
So that day that I listened to the message, joblessness is a blessing, as I said, I was totally knocked off my feet. I had never heard anything like it. It just spoke to the very core. So after that, I just started taking notes, making notes on online when the broadcast was on, and I was just doing it out of a place of that, what was coming was so meaningful, so rich, so purposeful that I had to start making notes within, the broadcast. And that was what I was doing. I didn't know that it was going to turn out to something bigger than that. So anyway, it got to the point that I was so passionate and so dedicated to making these notes that Facebook, which a lot of people don't know, Facebook started warning me that you got to stop this notes taking. Nobody knew this. Yes, Facebook started alerting me that if I don't stop, they would block me. So what I would do after a while was I would take some notes, then stop, take notes, and then stop, just so that it didn't feed back to Facebook. But anyway, to cut a long story short, how can you not stop? So I had my last warning that that if I did not stop, then they would block me, and I didn't want that. So I was thinking about that and wondering, what am I going to do next? And so an idea came to me that, why don't you take notes? There's an app called Evernote. I don't know whether you've heard of it. It's a brilliant app, note-taking app. So I thought, why don't you open up Evernote and then open up Facebook? So while the broadcast is going on, then you take the notes. So I started doing that, and so that solved the problem. And I thought, this is too much to keep to myself. And that's when I thought, because I realized that the people from Nigeria had data problems, and I began to announce that if you're interested, then just contact me, and I will email the notes to you. And to be honest with you, I absolutely loved what I was doing. I just felt like, everybody needs to hear, and everybody needs to have these notes. They were not the best notes because obviously I'm taking them live. And so that's what happened. And I was diligent in taking the notes. Okay, there were a couple of times that I couldn't if I missed, but that's how things transpired and developed. And I got a lot of feedback that it was helping them. And I just enjoyed helping people through that because DSA was helping me so much.
Yeah. So that's Queen Anastasia replicating one form of gratitude without her even knowing that this is a form of gratitude. She just mentioned a few sentences in her last words, which was that DSA was helping me so much, so I just wanted to give something back. And that was done in a notes that she's sharing with the whole world. DSA notes from each teachings that she's in attendance. She'll write notes and she'll share it with the whole world. I actually didn't know the story about Facebook being a challenge. And, she didn't just let it be a challenge and said, okay, Facebook is giving me problems. I can't do this. I'm not going to do it. She looks for other ways. Some of these interviews, I just don't want us to kind of just take it as just hearing what people are saying, just hearing stories. But I want us to take the lessons out of it because I'm really learning, and I think that we can all learn together. So Queen Anastasia is saying that with the challenge of Facebook, she looked for other ways. And this is exactly what the DSA teaches us all the time, that we have to use our minds and we have to be analytical in our thinking. So she thought, okay, and she's already demonstrating that without even knowing, well, she needs to harness on it. So first of all, the Facebook giving her problems. She thought, okay, what apps can I use? She used Evernote, and then from that, she developed, she thought, okay, how else can I share it with the world? Then she started a page, which is DSA Notes. She didn't actually mention that precisely. I just want you guys to know. She started DSA Notes.
Yeah.
Is it? Tell people. I don't want to. Yeah.
Okay, so I started DSA Notes message, and the whole idea was to move from Evernote because I realized that I was having challenges with Evernote. in the sense that not everybody could download the app, especially those from Nigeria. They would tell me that they don't have memory on their phone. So I thought, okay, how can I move it to the next level? And I was thinking, okay, there's Facebook there. There's the note feature there. So I could do the notes with them, and it would be open to everybody, so that people don't have to keep on telling me, I'd love your notes, and I don't have to ask them for the email. I don't have to tell them to download the app and all that. So I moved to the next level, and I thought, okay, let me make it open on Facebook so that it's there for everybody to access. And so hence the DSA notes. And then also with Dr. Sunday starting the live summits, I thought I could also use my creative skills to develop posters, because Dr. Sunday's messages are like 2 hours, 2.5 hours long, and there's a lot of information to take in. And I thought, okay, how can I help people have bite-sized information with strong images that will help them remember the notes? Because for me, when I was growing up, my education was a challenge. Because I'm a creative person and I think in pictures, I didn't grow up with that, learning style. It was all linear. In linear is, writing. My brain doesn't work like that. It works in images. And so I thought, okay, there's a lot of information here, rich information coming forth. How can I make it bite-sized in pictures to help people? So I started developing the pictures and posting them in DSA notes, and also got feedback to say that this is really helping them catching up with information.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I just want to mention quickly, Olamide, I'm seeing your comment on your device being frozen or having problems not being able to watch. Because you're using an iOS device, I think this is an iOS issue. What I suggest is to reset your device, start over again. I think it's stuck in the updates. So restart it and update your device. So once you've done that, the problem should be fine. This is an iOS problem. So I hope you can hear me. And if you can't, if Olamide comes on, please, can somebody just write her the message to update the iOS device? Okay, thank you. So Queen there just gave us a full detail of how she moved from Evernote notes to Facebook page, having a Facebook page on DSA notes, and then going further to use her learning style and her creativity to develop the notes into a different type, rather than just words of writing linear. She mentioned just writing. She also started creating images with the words. So using what do we call these images? Like quotes. Yeah. So the notes coming as quotes, which is an excellent idea because it's shorter and it's straight to the core message of what DSA's message is about. So you would do several notes, is that correct?
So I make sure that they are short, they are bold, and they are quite loud, so that the message is passed across, and hopefully you don't forget them.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we should move on now to your trip here. Tell us, first of all, how many times have you been here? Mm-hmm. I know King Evan said already that this is his first time here, but you haven't said anything about how many times you've been here. What was the first time like, and when was the first time or second time, or if this is the first time?
Is this to me? Hello, beautiful people. So this is my third time to Kyiv in, should I say, 4 months or 5 months? 5 months. I was here, first of all, in January for the HMT, and then I came in March through April for the anniversary, and again for the HMT, and I'm here for the third time for DSA's Golden Jubilee.
Okay, guys, I knew that already. I just wanted you to I just wanted you to know. I want you to tell us, right, how it was the first time meeting DSA, and obviously it seems to me that it is a good experience because for you to come back the second and third time. But just want you to share it, with in your own words, the first time meeting DSA, how that was.
After listening to DSA from August to December, and I found out there was going to be HMT in January, I could not wait to come. There was one in November, but I missed that one. So I remember arriving here in the evening. DSA was in the middle of a broadcast. I just snuck in quietly and sat with the group. And then after the broadcast, oh my goodness, the welcome I received from DSA. I remember his huge laughter, and he said, "Welcome, Anastasia. Welcome. This is DSA in the flesh," And then I'm sure you've seen his signature bowing that he does for those of you who watch him a lot. And he went down on his knees, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, who does that? Who does that?" That totally blew me away. And he said, "Welcome, welcome home. This is your home." That meant a lot. That just cemented everything I had seen on the live broadcast. So the going down on his knees, the big, huge welcome, and then saying, "This is your home." And believe you me, everything that you see, you hear about him, it is so totally true. I saw a man of humility, a man of love, a man who loves to empower, a man who's down to earth. I mean, you just observe, the nature of Jesus through the Gospels. That is DSA. No airs about him. Just everything that I haven't. Look, I've been a Christian for 30 years. 30 years. And I've been associated with different ministries in different dimensions, and I've been recruited. I have never seen anybody like DSA. And it was, my first experience was just totally amazing when I came, and the second time I had extra time to stay behind, and I got to know DSA on a much personal level, and I did do a live broadcast called Experiencing and Knowing that It Got Better through DSA. So if you haven't watched that, I would encourage you to go and watch, because I did a whole outline of my experience of what it is being close to DSA and basically his lifestyle. So hence I'm here a third time. I just can't get enough of what it is.
Wow. Okay, that was the first face-to-face meeting. That was really interesting. That's from Queen Anastasia. I would like to hear what King Evan have to say about his first meeting with DSA, the first face-to-face meeting.
Okay. Most of the time you meet or you hear about people talking about the first time they met well-renowned people. A typical example is people talk about being with Nelson Mandela and how they felt. Now, the truth is, although they try to put it into words cannot really express the feeling you have, okay? I remember the first day we came, and the first night I met him. How do I describe it? I was just filled with awe, wondering. I remember somebody making a comment that he wasn't normal, sort of a normal human, but then you're just filled with awe, and my head was just racing, through. It was like those pictures were just flying through my brain, thinking of all the great men in the Bible, okay? And I'm thinking, all those great men lived. I wasn't there. I read about them, But then finally, I've had the opportunity to meet one of the greats, okay, actually in person and being in his presence, which actually was a moment in my life I think I'll never forget. Because, I mean, I've been a Christian for a very long time, and I've met a few well-renowned, men of God, but although I wouldn't say I was actually in their presence. I mean, conferences, they preach, they come around, they walk past you, and in a way, in my mind, I'm able to sort of differentiate them from the message, So I went not to actually meet with them, but I went to hear them, okay. But then with DSA, it was actually meeting the person. So that was the difference, for me. That's why the fact that I'd met other men of God, it was more of the message they had that I went for and not the person.
Wow, I couldn't sit on my seat properly. I was like almost, I wanted to say something because I can't believe what King Evans just said here right now. That he separates a man's message from his person. Have we really been conditioned in that way? Because the person should also be the message. So all the men of God that you've met in your, I'm assuming probably 30 years as well, you separate their man as who they are from the message. That's unbelievable. That shouldn't be the case, and I think we've all been conditioned that way. But I am so, should I say proud? Yes, I think proud is the right word. To hear you say today that with DSA, your man is just as important as the message, and there was no disappointment. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So the man and the message are one. Wow. I don't know. I've never thought of that. Oh my God. Okay.
Because if I may add,
Yes,
as you said, we've been conditioned. Why do we go to church? To hear a message. Why do we go to church? To hear the pastor preach. You never go to church to meet the pastor, or to know the pastor, or to get acquainted with the pastor. You go to hear a message. You understand? But then, when you look at the life of Jesus, not only did he deliver a message to his apostles, they were also with him. You understand? They understood him. That's why you have places where he might say something, they'll come back, and the disciples may come back and ask him, and he's wondering, do you also not understand this? Haven't been with me. You understand? So you realize that the disciples not only heard the message, but they were with the man to get to know the man. And as I said earlier, I don't know, I can't really say for everybody, but then for most Christians, I think that's the way we live our Christian lives. It's all based on the message the person is preaching. We don't really get to know the man. You understand? But then with DSA, meeting him, you realize the man was the message.
Yeah. Is the message.
Or the man is the message. So that was the difference for me.
Wow. This is really key for me. Key in understanding Christianity, religion. And I didn't get it before, but you put it in such simple words. Understanding the message, going for the message is one thing, and also the man that preaches the message. And your description with Jesus Christ, where Jesus was the message and he was also the man. And the only person that you can liken that to, that you've seen now, is DSA. So that's really interesting for me. And I don't want this to be about church and religion, but it's really interesting for me. And I think it's heartbreaking at the same time. I said I am really proud, but I feel so heartbroken that this is how we're living, where we're going to church for the message and not for because we couldn't see the message in the man. So we just go for the message and we just leave the man. So what really are we doing? What are we doing? So I don't want to dwell on this because we're in a very good atmosphere here. I think this is for another day. But I really do want everyone out there to really think about this, that this is really important. The message and the man should not be separated. It should be one. So the man should be the message and the message should be the man. Okay? I think that simplifies it. So you're not dealing with multiple personality or, how can you say one thing and do another? This is really something this is what breaks the camel's back for us as individual, for young people, where we will say something and they see us act something else. So our words does not match our action. But in this case, both were intertwined. Wow, I really wish that we had like all day for this. And this is a bigger discussion. We can make this a topic on its own where everybody shares what they're feeling about message and man. I mean, this is really interesting for me. Okay. Right. I'm going off tandem here. So one thing I want to also ask, so you met the man and the message were just one together. What are your preconceived, like when you meet Dr. Sunday, how would it be? Because my understanding is that recently a lot of people have this thing that they cannot meet Dr. Sunday, or Dr. Sunday is too far. So what was your preconceived idea? Because I want to help some people that think, it's unattainable, it's just somebody that preaches, I don't want to get close, just like you said, with this man and message. So what are your preconceived ideas? This is to King Evans, because it's, for people out there that feel like they can't touch him or they can't get close, they can just watch and, that's it, that's all they can get from him. What would you say? I want to know what your preconceived, what you thought you might meet, and then you've already told us what you met, so that others can see if that meets their own thoughts as well, and if they can use that to break their own reluctance. I can put it that way.
Okay, if I'm to be honest, I didn't really have any preconceived ideal thoughts. I can only go by what someone told me, and I could only tell the same thing. A friend asked me whether I was coming to Kiev, and I said yes. And he just said, "Oh, you'd like it." So he wanted to say more. Then he said, "Oh, just go and experience it yourself." So I came, I experienced it myself. I think about 48 hours later, he also came, and the first question he asked me was, "How was it?" And I said words could not really express or explain the way I feel. So for the millions who still think or have that idea that he's so far, he's not accessible, all I can say is come experience it for yourself, because he's more accessible than you'd ever dream about. But then, as we say, experience is the best teacher. So I'll encourage you to come, experience it yourself. You can also tell others about it.
Thank you. Okay, you heard it from King Evans, which is come and experience it yourself. Come and experience the message and the man. Message and the man. I really like this. I could make this into a title. The message and the man. Ha! Okay. Our time is fast approaching because the Queen and Kings have King and Queen have another engagement right now that they need to shoot off. But I have lots of questions. So maybe we can just do this in a nutshell, right? The first one is, you've told us about the teaching of Dr. Sunday. I really want to know about your experience coming for this Golden Jubilee. If you can just share that quickly, the experience in Golden Jubilee and what you're taking away, what you would do differently. Because DSA is one person that don't just meet me and enjoy the feeling and, you know, the greatness is good or whatever. What I want is the highest form of gratitude, which is replication. What are you taking away? What are you going to replicate? And what are you going to do differently now you've encountered and had this experience? I'll say to King Evan.
I think one important thing is it said that a group of people observed what they did. Okay, they were amazed at that group of people. Then they remembered that these people had been with Christ because they were replicating what they saw Christ doing. Okay, and earlier on I mentioned to someone that the way you perceive or the way you think things should be done, you see something differently out there, and you know there's that tendency for you to think you are in the wrong. Okay, but having come met him, you know, has given me that encouragement that the thoughts I had, the ideas I had, the way I thought or knew ministry should be, you know, in your head you're thinking, why am I the only one thinking that way? But then having met DSA, you know, has just confirmed what I've always believed in, and I know there's always a reference point. So that gives me the boldness to go out, do what I've always believed in, knowing very well that I have a reference point. It's not just a lone voice in the wilderness, you know, but I have a reference point to a great man of God who's done the same thing and, you know, has proof of what he's believed in. So that's what I'm actually taking with me to run with the vision God has given me, knowing very well that, you know, the same God who gave that same vision to his servants, we've all, our eyes have, you know, seen the fruits of that vision. So that gives me, you know, the strength and courage to go on.
Wow. This is really interesting because I'm hearing now you have conviction and confirmation of what you already know, what God has put in you already. So you have that cleared up now. And you can go out there and run with that vision. What I also want to know is that, what are you going to do exactly? So I'm just interested, and I think everyone will be interested as well. One thing DSA taught us is that we can say something, but we need to be descriptive, precise in what we're saying. So yes, you're running with that vision. I know that because I can see that already. The conviction is there, the boldness is there. But what are the things that you're going to do? I really want us to encourage other people, because there are others that are listening here now, and what they're hearing from you is really, maybe it's a life-changing experience for them too, even though they're sitting watching us. And somebody else might be having exactly the same ideas and the same thoughts as you have. So they might have ideas and they might have thoughts, but they don't know how to go about it. Hearing yours will give them a headway. So I just want to know the tangible things that you're going to do.
Fortunately for me, my wife has always been encouraging me to start a YouTube channel. You know, but then, you know, with the YouTube channel, it's actually a broadcast, you know, so there's been that bit of caution about what I might say that might not go down too well with the masses of the people based on what they've been taught in the past, you know, so I've been a bit cautious. But then having come here, sat under DSA, I know the channel would have to come up. And secondly, is actually writing not just a book, but books. That has been a long-term dream, okay? And I actually remember asking my wife that how would Dr. Sunday feel if one sort of take extracts from his books, you know? And then she said, no problem, you know. Yeah, and I remember asking her once that some of the messages, how Dr. Sunday feel we actually transcribing it into a book. And she was telling me that, you know, Dr. Sunday has actually been looking for people to actually do that, you know. So I believe all obstacles have been removed. The path has been clear. So for now, those are the two things I intend to work on.
God, you cannot believe how I'm feeling right now. Okay, I'm glad I asked that question. Look at that. Look at what is being birthed right now. So, number one, messages on YouTube. So, our King Evan and Macdonald is going on YouTube, live and direct. You heard it here first. Sharing the message, what he already knew. So the obstacle of people, how people will receive it, removed, gone, right? So he is going to be presenting you with what God has put in him. The confirmation is already been made, and he is now going to share it, regardless of anything, of any obstacle. You don't know how liberating that is. Even for me, I am feeling liberated. That's number one, right? And that on its own is huge enough. And then secondly, books. This is, what can you say? In so many months, he's already replicating Dr. Sunday in his mind. And you know what we know? When we can conceive it, we can do it. He can conceive it. He knows what he needs to do. He has the power, the authority. He has the materials. He has the tools. And the books is something now that he's going to put together. Not just one book. He said books. Books. Ha! I am really excited. I hope Dr. Sunday is watching this because he needs to know that, wow. So from this trip, you have been empowered. How many days were you here, sir? 6 days. 6 days. Go 6 days in 6 days. But, you know, it's not just started 6 days ago. It started from the moment that he heard the message. The message resonated with him. He still remembers the message. The sons in where are the sons in Israel?
Yeah. Are there any sons in Israel?
Are there any sons in Israel? From that moment, he remembered that was the birthing moment. And then now, 6 days of coming here, meeting with Dr. Sunday has given birth to even more fruits. So we need to just watch this space because I am seeing something great here already. I am seeing life transform. I can't wait for these books to come out. You know, books, knowledge, something that outlives him. You know, so the video, the books, the knowledge and impact that he's going to make in his world. I'm excited already. I'm excited for someone. I'm so excited. With Queen Anastasia, we know, but Queen Anastasia, one thing that you didn't say was when you, after your first trip, was it after your first trip that you started your platform? And was it before, was it after? Because I really want to know if it was, if that had anything to do with it. And then also, we're not going to, it seems like we're not going to talk about the Golden Jubilee at all. But I'm sure there will be videos that is going to be flying out of the experience again, because I know Anastasia would always record her experience from this, because she did from the last HMT. So that will come out. So I'll urge you to watch that when she does a video. But I really do want to know about when you started, because this is, it seems like the line of this interview is going into encouragement and empowering. So let's just go ahead and maybe have our end it with the same thing.
First of all, I started doing Facebook Live after Dr. Sunday's message. You are not an afterthought. You're not an accident. And that was last year. You're not an afterthought, and you're not an accident. And it touched me so deeply. And after the broadcast, at the end of the broadcast, he said that everyone should go out there and start their ministry, whether it be blog, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Facebook Live, whatever, just go out there. And so November, I took a huge leap of faith and started the My Life Story series, which carried on from November to, I think, the first week in January. Then when I came for the first HMT and came home, I started the new talk show called Talk Show with Anastasia Macdonald, Who is Your Daddy series. So that's one message opened an opportunity to do the live broadcast. The initial one, the My Life Story series, the next HMT gave me the leap of faith to do the talk show. So that's how it happened.
Wow. This is really interesting. I didn't want to focus too much on Queen Anastasia because, like she said earlier, even though I said not, is that a lot of us know her already. Yes. And even if you don't know her, there's already materials out there free of charge that you can access. So you can access her on Facebook, which is Anastasia Macdonald, and you can also access her on YouTube, which is also Anastasia Macdonald's. You can see all the material, all the videos, all the teachings, the talk show on there. Please check her out so you have a better understanding of who she is and what teachings and messages are about. I personally feel that those messages will bless generations to come, especially her life story. And if you want to develop a relationship with God, as she calls it, Daddy God, that's another one that you need to look at her talk show and the Daddy God series. You need to check them out. My time is out. Our time is out. I've even gone way over the time. So I'm just going to turn the camera for them to say goodbye to you. And then once they've done that, we're out of here. But I am looking forward to the next time that I'm going to interview them, because I feel like I haven't done the justice both for you, the viewers, and also with Queen and King Macdonald. So I'm going to ask you to say the final words, each of you, quickly, and then we'll get out. Okay? I've been told.
Well, it's been a pleasure sharing my heart's desire, what God has placed in my heart with you all. All I could say is keep up the faith, keep listening to DSA, keep meditating on his messages, and your life will definitely not be the same.
And what I would like to say is, please do all you can to come and be a partaker of DSA in the flesh. Thank you.
That's it. Ending short and sweet. They have to go now, and I will go for now, and I'll be back. So guys, lovely people, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'll be back shortly. I have more interviews, more people coming. So I am going for now, but I will be back. Thank you.